Good morning. Just going to give you a quick update. I'd like to thank Merit and the NANOG Program and Steering Committees for again letting us have a joint meeting with the NANOG community. I'm the president and CEO of arin. It's sort of interesting to say that, which means I'm in charge of making sure the arin train runs on the tracks and in the direction that this community wants it to go. Along those lines, we have a number of important things happening this week. First one is that the NRO Number Council election is happening, and everyone who is registered for NANOG is able to vote in the NRO Number Council. The NRO Number Council is the group within the NRO that serves two very important functions. It is the 3 representatives from every region, which are responsible for working together when we have global policies to make sure they're appropriate, uniform in all the regions, and advance them to ICANN for ratification of global policies that'll get followed by the IANA. Second thing they do is they actually put, every now and then, someone on the ICANN Board of Trustees. So these are people who have to have a bit of vision about the global impact of policies, be able to travel and speak about what's happening in this region to other parts of the globe. Everyone in this community is able to vote in these elections. These elections are open. And we have 2 candidates, Babak Pastar and Louis Lee, in this year's election. If you go to the arin webpage and you click on the Vote Now, Register and Vote, you can do that. We also have Judd at the election help desk outside if you have any questions. Again, you don't have to be per se registered for arin or attending arin. You just need to be registered for NANOG. We're also doing a number of joint things with Merit this week. Join us tonight for the Open Policy Hour in this room. We actually will go through the policy development process at 5:30, and then at 6 o'clock, from 6 to 7, we'll go through the Open Policy Hour and discuss a number of policies under discussion and take any other issues you want to take regarding policies in preparation for the upcoming meeting. We also are sponsoring, right at the close of that, a happy hour at the Rotunda on the 16th floor, and that will be starting at 7 o'clock. I also ask that, since you're going to be here anyway, you participate in tomorrow's IPv6 panel discussion. We have a discussion going on about the status of IPv6 in the operator community. We definitely welcome feedback. If you can, stay for the arin meeting. The arin meeting runs through Friday. We're going to discuss a number of interesting policies that are on the docket. This includes a global policy for assignment of ASN blocks, a global policy for allocation of IPv4 blocks to regional internet registries. This policy has some interesting implications because it sets what happens to returned blocks, and it also sets how returned blocks are divided up and used by the RIRs when there isn't much space left. So a fairly important issue for operators to look into. Open access to IPv6. We have some very modest criteria for IPv6 allocations, and this policy makes them more modest, removing a little bit of them, and it's worth discussion in the community. IPv6 multiple discrete networks, allowing people who don't necessarily have one contiguous backbone. That actually came up a little bit in earlier discussions this week. Will be discussed. That policy is up for consideration. And an equitable IPv4 runout policy, which talks about how many addresses you get when you come to arin when arin begins to run out and has a smaller and smaller free pool. All of these have interesting impacts. You don't need to come to arin, you don't need to talk about them, but they will affect you sometime if adopted, so it might be worth it if you can stay the extra couple of days. The only other thing, of course, tomorrow's IPv6 Emerging Success Stories. We have information on the website about who is RESTful Web Service, and there'll be a presentation about that. We are doing lame DNS testing, and we welcome feedback on that because people have asked us to look at the DNS servers that people serve their in-adders with, and quite frankly, there's a big difference between the criteria we've been given and the state of your DNS servers out there. We want to make sure that we don't remove records unless they actually match what you want us to remove. And finally, we'll have some discussion of the use of arin templates. arin has a consultation process ongoing right now about the fact that over time, as we have more and more automation and more direct access to the systems, we're wondering whether or not you want to maintain email-based access for all the various record types that you're doing today. So those are areas that we need feedback from the operator community that will be discussed in ARIN over the next 2 days. That's all I have. Thank you very much.